Welcome, welcome. We're just going to get started here in just a few. We're waiting for our speakers to come up. Crypto Data, great to see you, brother. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Great to see you. I appreciate you coming and joining us today. Really do.
Yeah, appreciate you having me. Thanks for the invite.
Absolutely, man. I'm really excited to get in here and start talking crypto alpha, man. I invited some truly incredible people, including yourself, and I think we're going to have an amazing conversation over the next hour. So I'm super pumped, super excited, and I'm really, really thankful for your time, man. Honestly.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It means a lot.
All right, we just need the great lady trader here and a few other of our. There she is. Co-host sent to the wonderful lady trader. Hey, lady, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, amazing. Amazing now that you're here.
Thank you. Thank you. What a beautiful day for Bitcoin.
It's interesting, right? It feels like September, August, September times are supposed to be a little bit slower for crypto, but it seems like a lot of stuff is going on in the background, and I'm really excited to jump in and start having a conversation about all of this. I'm just waiting on one or two other speakers, and we'll get going here. Let me see here. Good to see Andrea in the crowd. Hey, Andrea. Brian's here too. What's up, Brian? All right, why don't we do this? Let's get started. A few of our speakers are a little bit late today, but it's all good. What I would like to do is just, I'd like to do a little bit of round robin real quick, just maybe introduce the speakers and kind of who you are. And maybe I know each one of you work extremely hard in the crypto industry. Some of you have your own communities. And so I wanted to just give you maybe, the 60 seconds to maybe introduce yourself to the people that might not know you, and then maybe talk a little bit about your communities that I know that you worked hard to provide a lot of information in. So, Action, do you want to lead us off here with some information about who you are and a little bit about kind of what you do in the crypto space? Oh, did I lose Action? Did I lose Action? Oh no.
Yeah, Action gets a little nervous before speaking.
He does, doesn't he? All right, Data, let's go to you, man. I'm actually in your Telegram channel, and I know you provide a lot of incredible crypto data, and just from all across the crypto space. So, do you want to jump in, maybe talk a little bit about who you are and a little bit about your community and how people can find you? I'm sure after they listen to this space and listen to your analysis, they're really going to want to start following you and closely in what you're doing. So, why don't you take this time to just maybe give us a little bit about who you are, and we'll get into this.
Yeah, thanks for having me. A little bit about me. So I majored in finance, so I have a little financial background. Initially started with stocks, penny stocks, options, and then ended up finding crypto in 2017. And it was kind of amalgamation of the two, where you had, that risk of penny stocks, but then kind of the reputability of stocks with various protocols. So caught my attention. I was like, hey, let's get into this. First coin I bought actually was Ripple, funny enough. And and that kind of started the journey. And then from there, it's just kind of built. And I originally started a YouTube channel, so that was just something I was trying to, basically it forces me to research the space and forces me to, help network with others and pay attention. And from there, it just kind of grew. I started focusing on my Twitter account more, and then created an Instagram, and then a Discord, and then recently a Telegram just this year. And now you joined, appreciate that. And mainly, what I'm focused on is, data analytics, kind of as the name suggests, because in crypto, a lot of times we let our emotions take hold, and that's the quickest way to lose money. To fall into FOMO, or to basically, fall into fear, where if something's falling, you sell it, and then it ends up bouncing the next day. And those are the things I really like to study, is just looking at the data, looking at technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and just, kind of macro perspective as well. So kind of taking that all in, formulating an accurate picture of where I think we're going based on statistical analysis. Because at the end of the day, no one's 100% right. But if you can, have an advantage where you're right more than wrong, then over time you will make money. And so I've been really focused on that and just growing my network as much as possible. Where I think in crypto, network is everything, because just like with here in all these spaces, I mean, hearing different points of view, networking with others, you may find out things that you wouldn't have otherwise found out, because crypto, literally there's thousands of coins, and there's
Yeah.
all kinds of different networks and everything. So yeah, so basically I've just been focused on, creating a really, free platform across all of my socials. A lot of them are linked on my Twitter account, and where, I basically teach people what I'm doing and just try to interact with them as well. And I think that's the best thing, is because there's such a big educational gap in crypto, where if you see all these new people joining, they don't really know how to bridge, or they don't really know the difference between these, different networks or narratives, or how the space really works. And so I think teaching people about that and how to analyze every aspect of crypto can help them to kind of stay safe in the space, and then, teach them to be successful down the road, because it is a hard game to master, but the more information you have, then the better you can get.
Brother, you're so right about all of that. And you know what's really funny? XRP and Ripple actually started me in the crypto space too. So I'm sure we have some stories that we can share offline about all of that, man. And it really just, my dad had sent me a video about Ripple and XRP, and I knew nothing about crypto. Sent me the video, and it completely changed my life. So it's really good to see other people kind of taking that same path. Nix, you're up here. I wanted to maybe give you some time here. Do you want to let people kind of know who you are, and maybe a little bit about Neo Launch, and then we'll get to Action Lady Trader, and we'll get into this crypto conversation.
Yeah, for sure. And also, thank you so much for having me here today, Sensei. I apologize, was running a few minutes late. I'm the marketing manager for NeoLaunch. NeoLaunch is a syndicate launchpad incubator model. We have a lot of tricks up our sleeve. I would love for anybody to come check out our community and just kind of see what we're up to. But we really just we really just enjoy building projects in the space. We like to host game nights. We like to host events. We like to help people, understand how to capitalize in this space. We have a very strong focus on gaming and GameFi, but we are focused on every vertical. A little bit more about myself is I have a very strong background in marketing. I worked for agencies for a really long time, some campaign management and social media strategies, mostly focused on digital strategies with some big brands whenever they were trying to break into that market, like Nike and Samsung and Playboy. And actually, that's how I got into Web3, was through agency work. I got onboarded through Wax.io. They wanted to basically, change their narrative in Web3, and that was a really fun time. And then at that point, I kind of just fell in love with the space. Moved into like NFT world, and I think it just kind of really touched on a part of me that kind of lay dormant for a while, which was the part of me that just really loved stories. I loved just like the experiences that the NFT communities were creating at that time, and I think that that's just really something that I think Web3 overall is really amazing at. Is just figuring out ways to create and build communities off of personal interests, or things that are just really popular right now, or things that are going to be popular. But then also just getting us involved in figuring out, like, offering opportunities also for people to grow in this space, where in the past, typically we would have not had those opportunities. a way for us to influence the direction of, you know, emerging tech or all of these new verticals that are coming out. But yeah, I mean, I really could go on for so long, but I'm not going to. I'm going to pass it over to Lady Trader in action. But again, thank you for having me here, since they always love being on your spaces.
I cannot hear crypto data.
Oh,
Uh,
you cannot hear data?
okay, wait. Oh, there you go.
Oh, I can
Yeah,
hear
I
you now.
wasn't hearing Sensei.
Oh, it was me. You know, I was on mute. That was my bad. That was my. It's still early, people. I'm trying to wake up here. Let's do this. Action. Do you want to drop a little bit of knowledge on who you are and what you're working on right now in the crypto space and how people can find you? And then we'll move it over to Adrian, and then I want to get it to Lady Trader, the co-host, and then I really want to get into what we're looking at this week in crypto because there's so much going on, and I know there's a lot of things that you guys want to talk about. So, without further ado, why don't you jump in action and let us know? Oh,
I don't see I don't see
can
Action or Adrian as speakers. I see them as
oh
listeners.
oh that's weird. I thought I just saw him. Okay, let's do this. Lady Trader, you want to break it down why we figure out how to get action and Adrian up here? I've invited both of them. Do you want to just drop a little bit of knowledge about who you are? I think out of everybody in this space, you've probably been here the longest. I think you were here when there was only four cryptocurrencies around maybe 10 or 12 years ago. So why don't you want to give us a little bit of a background who you are and we'll get into it.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got into crypto definitely super early on into the markets. Obviously, the first experience was pretty horrible. And I lost a bunch of money back in 2014. And then I heard about crypto actually even before then. My dad was the one who told me about crypto super early on when Bitcoin first came out. And he was like, you know what, just buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin and forget it for 10 to 15 years. Don't even look at it. Don't do anything with it. That's the future. And of course, I was, at that point, I was doing some equities. And so I was not really interested in that. I kind of dismissed it. And I was like, you know what, might as well buy some stocks. Why buy Bitcoin, right? Well, because it just seemed like a very risky investment back then. And so I instead of Bitcoin went for some stocks that I bought at that point, and it was not the best idea. But anyways, that's really how that was like the biggest oops in the crypto for me. But then kind of continued my journey. Got into crypto in 2014 and 2013, 2014. Really, 2013 was mostly watching how Bitcoin was doing. 2014 was the bear market. That's when I got wrecked, and then from there kind of learned all of the important lessons that I needed to learn. And I was also at a hedge fund back then, so it was pretty amazing. And then once I left that hedge fund, got into consulting, and pretty much was working, as a tech consultant for a lot of municipalities and also some pretty major names. Like Meta was actually one of my clients, Facebook, and then my team also built some solutions for Microsoft. So lots of great work in Web 2, and then kind of switched to Web 3 and fully as a consultant. And of course, 2017 and 2021 were great. 2021 especially were really, really awesome years for me, 2021. And then my community on Telegram, we've been together for a very long time. I do have an alpha community on Telegram. It's a small invite-only group, and I only invite whales and good people into that community. It's not open. I don't publicly talk about it, but if I'd be more than happy to have any of you on there. You can just shoot me a DM. And nowadays, what I do really is advisory and KOL and marketing activation for a lot of projects. And so, leading a lot of campaigns for projects right now, and doing some incubations as well. Pretty much a shadow incubation, really. It's something that has been there on and off with me for a very long time. and then connecting people with the right resources and tools, and then lots of Twitter spaces, AMAs, things like that, but really mostly and advising people, advising teams, and then helping them with KOL activation.
I love that, and imagine where you would be if you had actually would have bought Bitcoin when was it your grandfather or your father told you about it? I mean, we probably would be doing these spaces on your mega yacht somewhere out in the Mediterranean if that happened. But I do think still you have the grand opportunity to do it. You're one of the best minds that I know in crypto, and I'm so thankful to have you co-hosting these spaces. I know your time is extremely valuable, so is everybody else's here, and it truly is an honor to be up here with all of you. Adrian, I see you're up here, man. You want to give us a bit of a shout out about who you are and a little bit of information, and then we can start diving into the hottest topics in crypto and share alpha with all the people in the audience here.
Sure. So my foray into Bitcoin actually started very early, and I was an idiot and didn't get in. I heard about it for the first time in like late 2010, and I thought it was a complete scam. But a few guys I knew were involved in mining. They were very, very early adopters. They were super smart. They kept trying to convince me. I kept thinking it was a scam. I missed the opportunity of a lifetime and eventually got in 2012. I was very fortunate to get in that early. I've lost more Bitcoin than I've kept. So I've learned all of the hard lessons with that. I haven't been in altcoins for many years now. I used to be. I think I've owned all of the major alts at some point in years past. I even have owned some ones that many of you probably have never heard of. So with that, it has given me a more of a Bitcoin focused perspective on things. I'm not as toxic as other maximalists that you'll see, but I definitely have strong opinions on certain things. Right now, my primary focus in the market is wealth expansion and preservation. So I'm being far less risky this cycle than I was last. And I focus on proxies like the miners, MicroStrategy, things of that nature. And really, this time around, I'm also very, very heavily invested in AI proportionally. And one of the things that I've been trying to do this cycle as well that's different is being more vocal, putting out more content, mostly because I don't have a profit motive. So you'll find I'll say pretty much whatever the fuck I want to and not be concerned with who I'm pissing off. And that makes me very popular with some, very unpopular with others. So if you want a unvarnished opinion on things, ask me, because I'll certainly tell you. But besides that, I'm trying to give information, I'm trying to give knowledge, and I'm trying to make sure people don't make the same mistakes that I did.
I love that, man. And you know what? I've learned in the 4.5 years that I've been in crypto. I'm kind of a youngling here compared to all of you. But you can't make everybody happy no matter what you say or do. Somebody always is going to have a different opinion. And I love the people that just go out and say, "Hey, this is what I feel, and I really don't care about what anybody else thinks about it." So I love that, man. I'm really thankful to have you up here, and I really appreciate you coming up here. Let's do this. I'd love to open it up. We are in basically kind of mid to late August here. All right. Where do you and I'll open up to this panel. Where do you guys think we're going to start taking off here? I know we have possibly a rate cut coming in September. Finally, it looks like the Fed is going to get around. I know that there's people that think we're going to go down 0.25 basis points. Some people, I think there's like a 34% chance that we will see a zero point 0.5 basis points drop. But is September or end of September, is that really the time that we are going to start really seeing Bitcoin take off to the moon, and then people taking profits and then dumping them back into altcoins? Or do you guys think we're still going to have to wait till we get to like November and December timeframe, or even later? I'd love to have anyone's thoughts and opinions on that.
So myself, just looking at it, I think that right now a lot of people are front running the rate cuts, and I think that's what we're seeing now. I know that global liquidity, kind of M2 money supply, that's been increasing a lot, and Bitcoin's usually a lagging indicator a month or two afterwards. So I think that what we'll see is we'll see a continued pump probably up until a week prior to the interest rate cuts, and then from there we'll probably see a drop, probably till beginning to mid October. That Q4 historically bullish, but a couple things I've been looking at actually with that is just some history. Whenever the Fed does cut interest rates, usually we see the Bitcoin dominance decrease probably a month or two after, and then we see altcoins rally after that. So we may see that little delay in altcoin rally after the rate cuts, just for that lagging effect. But watching the charts, just real quick, I'm seeing Bitcoin's broken its 50 and 100 day EMA on the daily, which has been big resistance around that 62.5K mark. So if we close above that, then the next one you're targeting that 65.4K, which was previous resistance in August. So that's the level I'm watching right now. And another trend line I'm watching is the total three chart. So the total three chart is total market cap minus Bitcoin and Ethereum. And on the weekly, you have a fractal that's similar to 2021, where you have this downtrend line where it's basically rejected off of April of this month or April of this year. Then it rejected again June 3rd, and then it rejected again July 22nd. And now that line, we're coming up close to it again. So we're at about 606 billion, and it's at about 633 billion. So that may coincide with the Bitcoin's 65.4K level, and then maybe we reject further down after that, and then basically downward chop for another month or two. So just trying to gauge all scenarios right now, but I do think this is just a big front run prior to the rate cuts. And then obviously you have, CZ getting out of jail, which that's speculation as well, good or bad. But a lot of people are front running for that as well with the BNB chain and some of those memes on there. So yeah, I think there's just a lot of stuff right now that people are front running, and then just with the money supply continuing to increase, that's kind of another catalyst as well people are looking at.
Man, that's incredibly well said. And if I could ask, there's some people in the audience right now. If you could retweet out the space, I would really appreciate it. We've brought together some incredible minds in the crypto space, and I know there's other people out in the world that would love to hear what our members and their panelists are talking about now. So if you could retweet the space, my heart goes out to you. I'd really appreciate it if you could do that. Lady Trader, I'd love to bring it to you. You have your hands in a lot of different pies here. You see things before a lot of other people do. What should people be focused on right now in the crypto industry? Is it alt? Is it buying, Bitcoin and Ethereum? Or what are you most passionate about buying right now with these prices? Pretty much some of it at its all-time lows, with altcoins down 60, 70, 80% still. Where are you shopping right now?
So definitely for Bitcoin, the best time to shop was November of 2022. That's when my community pretty heavily invested in Bitcoin, and then also altcoins back then. So right now, I think, in my opinion, it's best time to buy altcoins. That's what I'm doing as well. I'm adding to my positions right now. And then I'm also looking at some of the categories that are really red, right? AI was one. It's already starting to move somewhat now because of the ASI merger. And then gaming is another one. The lounge tokens already in the top 200 list, those are great, right? So ILV, Illuvium, great team, great product, great community, great price, right? Because my price target actually was $80 on Illuvium this for this bull market, and thankfully we've got even a better price on that one. And then Gala, I mean, I've been buying Gala all these days, the last few days, last few weeks, and it is flying now slowly. And so love it. Mochaverse is another one. Really amazing product, really amazing project that I've added quite a bit of and will be adding more to my position on that one. XC Infinity, great one. Sandbox, Mana, I mean, Decentraland, all of these are great plays and at a really, really solid discount right now. So those are great, obviously. But then other categories, because diversification is the key, right? You have to diversify. You can't just be in one category and say, okay, this is it. Like, no, you got to make money. You got to diversify and learn, what's going to give you a better return. So RWA, great, right? Lots of plays there that are happening. RWA actually, I always say that tokenize everything. Now, I'm not saying literally tokenize every single thing, right? You're not going to tokenize my mattress. So, like when I say tokenize everything, I don't mean every single thing, but it is going to be the narrative where everybody's looking into tokenization and, basically just making a very strong use cases for everybody. So that's definitely there. Meme coin, one thing that I noticed the last few days that I've been watching the chart, right? So sometimes what I do is I like to look at the charts. I like to see how things are playing out, what kind of data we are seeing. And my goodness, on DEX tools, we had like all of the 10 trending tokens are meme coins, like the last few days that I have started to notice. I'm sure it's been happening longer than that, but since I started noticing, it's like all of the top 10 trending coins are meme coins on Ethereum chain, not a single utility coin. And I'm like, what the heck is happening? And so it's like, where are all of the utility based plays? Why are they not trending on DEX tools anymore? And so it was just surprising because there was a time when I remember that there would be a lot of utility coins, maybe one or two meme coins, and then everything else would be utility-based plays, and that's not happening anymore. So that was very, eye-opening that meme coins are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. On CMC homepage, they have meme coin as the first hot category listed. They also added Politify as a category. So I guess political coins now are a legit digital asset to trade, which is interesting. So lots of stuff happening here. One thing that I'm excited about is the platform that Trump is coming out with. I want to see if there is going to be any kind of airdrop for those of us who are holding Trump NFTs from the mint days. And so if that was the case, it would be pretty big. But let's see how it plays out. Maybe there won't be an airdrop at all, but I'm interested to see what kind of platform they're coming up with and what their end goal is.
And speaking about that too, right? They're supposed to be building some type of DeFi platform, and I know Donald Trump Jr. was talking about that. And I personally, whatever your politics are, no matter what they put out, right? Or they could put out a meme coin that looks like a piece of crap, but people are still going to buy it, right? And I think that that's a grand opportunity if you can get into that early, no matter what it is, right? Even if it's promised to do a million things and it only does one thing, people are still going to FOMO in and buy it. And so I'm so glad you brought that up. I wanted to turn it over to Adrian because I know Adrian has a lot of really amazing thoughts about the current market and where we stand right now. Adrian, what are you looking at specifically? And is there anything at all right now that you are just buying, you're DCing, you're getting into, you're buying? I'd love to get some information from you, my friend.
Sure. So with regards to the overall market, things are kind of playing out the way that I thought they would. I anticipated rate cuts coming in either September or October. I've been saying that for a few months now. And what we're seeing with the reaction today, and likely we'll see for the next, I don't know, maybe a week or so, before rate cuts are actually anticipated, and we actually have an actual percentage amount where the market could chew on, is people are front running it. We're getting the exit liquidity for the dump that I think is probably going to happen. I do think we're going to retrace before the Q4 fund kicks off, just based on previous cycles and the fact that the halving cycles and election cycles and liquidity cycles all tend to sync up. Um, that is not bearish. That's just me making a observation based on what I've seen and based on what I think is going to happen. With that said, that last correction, I'm not going to speculate as to how deep it is. I've thought that we could hit 44K. We hit 49. I think that, carry trade wipeout may have been sufficient. I don't really see us going down to 44 again, just based on the narratives that have been coming to play in the last couple of weeks. That being said, what I'm bullish on, still bullish on Bitcoin proxies. So, like MicroStrategy and certain miners. And those miners are going to be tied to the HPC and AI vertical. I'm very, very bullish in that sector, mostly because in my day-to-day job, I use AI quite often. I help companies implement AI systems. And when I say AI systems, I don't mean like a GPT wrapper. I mean, actually helping them look into using like Llama and other open source models to enhance and expand their internal applications. And that trend is not stopping. In fact, I think that if anything, we are in the very, very, very beginning of it. I don't think it's a bubble. And I think that what we're going to see long term here after these rate cuts is a growing bifurcation of the economy where you have, AI, robotics, and all their proxies, and then you have everything else. And that's a trend I'm going to be watching over the next 3 to 5 years, where I think that the Bitcoin market specifically is going to move very, very closely with that. And I have some longer term theories on that we can get into another time. And overall, proxies, NVIDIA, those are what I'm bullish on immediately. I don't play altcoins anymore. Had my fun with that. I also have thoughts on the altcoin market, but yeah, those are just my general thoughts.
I appreciate you sharing that, man. Looking at this market compared to what we saw in the 2021, run up, do you guys think we can ever repeat the excitement of that bull market? I mean, we had COVID, we had everybody at home on their computers. They're supposed to be working, but realistically, they were on YouTube, they were on Twitter, they were shopping for altcoins, right? And I don't see as much excitement right now from the retail traders coming back into crypto. So, are we going to see that amount of excitement in this bull market? Or is this bull market really going to be led by institutions and maybe some of us that are kind of joining in and trying to make money with these institutions? I'd love to just, throw that up to anybody if they wanted to kind of throw in where you think the current market stands compared to our last bull market.
I don't think that we're going to see that, honestly. The last market was rate cuts and QE. So I the thing with the last market that I really think people are missing, and maybe this is just my perspective, that environment, like you just mentioned, that was a perfect storm. People had nothing else to do. So when you have a very, very boxed in population that's looking for stimulus in the form of some kind of a release, some kind of a entertainment outlet, and then you have the crypto market, and you have the all. Back then it was altcoins, utility tokens. Everyone was talking about the next utility to take over this, or blah 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 blah, and you had influencers pumping them to the hilt, and you had a captive audience. I don't see that happening again. And that's not just for that. I also think that this time around, with the institutional players, where is the money going to come from? Even with rate cuts coming in, even if they do start printing money again, which are going to probably within the next 6 to 12 months, they're going to have to just mathematically. What incentive is there for that money to go into memes and alts and all the tokens? There's too many of them, right? So you have too many different projects that are popping up like weeds left and right that are sucking all the liquidity out of any one token before it can get too large. And then on the flip side, you have Bitcoin that's just chilling around the $60,000 range. And you have Ethereum now that has the ETFs. I really think that the money that we're seeing now and the money that we're going to see coming in, it's not retail, it's institutions. And institutions move the markets. Last time was retail moving the market, and that was a very, very rare instance just because it was a perfect storm. I think people anticipating that now are going to get caught with their pants down in a lot of these tokens, and they're going to be left bag holding in mass if they're expecting 2024 and 2025 to play out like 2020 and 2021 did.
I think
Dude, I'm sorry. Go for it, Lay Trader.
Oh, I
Please,
was going
please.
to say, I agree with a lot of things that Adrian said. I think one thing that I noticed during the last bull market, like even in 2021, launch pads and IDOs were big, right? Like every single day there were, I remember like trading, I would wake up super early in the morning and then we would have like a list of IDOs that are coming out, invest in every single one of them. And every single one of them would do like 20, 30x. A lot of times you're getting all of it at, Lounge. And so that was basically the landscape back then. And then projects like, look at Blocktopia, for example, right? It did 733x or something like that. And then there were others. Meta WePad, it did 1300x or 1400x, something crazy like that. So lots of 1000x's, 500x's, 200x's, 100x's, 20x's was like the bare minimum, really, for most of those IDOs. And so everything was just, phenomenal back then. Of course, it was mostly international markets, though, because you cannot participate from, the North American region unless, you are a dual citizen or something like that. So a lot of people in the US were absolutely clueless, completely clueless about what IDO is, what ICO is. Well, ICO, some people knew, but IDO, people were completely clueless about that. And so, but there was so much money-making opportunity outside of the US. It was absolutely incredible. And so now what's happening is projects are launching at a higher FDV and raising money. That's the basic thing, right? They want the money. The product is either, there are too many products out there that are similar, but most teams do not care about the chart, right? They just want to keep all of your money, give you a little bit of tokens at launch, and then leave the rest. But it's not to say 2025 won't be different. Like maybe we will see some of that part again, like similar price action in some of those IDOs. We'll just have to wait and watch how it happens. But yesterday I talked to 2 Launchpad CEOs, and both basically said that, hey, landscape isn't looking really good at all for IDOs. We don't know how it's going to be in the next few months. So it's very interesting to see. Go ahead, Adrian.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So no, I was going to say that if you have a VPN and know what you're doing, you are not blind to it at all. I remember those days very, very well from last cycle. So, you know, with with that said, yes, I fully agree with what you're saying. And to give some color, there were times in 2021 where I would just pick a token at random. I would throw $1,000 at it. I would come back a few days later and I'd made like a 5x. There was no rhyme or reason to any of it. So people, that's why when people are talking about, oh, we're going to have an alt season now, I'm like, not really. What alt season was complete, and I'm sorry to use this word if it offends anyone, I don't mean to. It was complete hyperscale retardation on a level you cannot imagine when it comes to people throwing money into things and just making money. And the problem is, everyone assumed it was going to keep going. I kept throwing the money into Bitcoin, while others were like, "Oh no, Harmony1 is going to become the number 2 token," and blah 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 blah. And it's just like, you're my exit liquidity, and I'm sorry, but I appreciate you. So that's why now I've just been like, I'm not doing it, just because I think it's bad. I don't think it's going to go anywhere good if we have that again.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, Adrian. What I was talking about for IDO was like the actual launch pads that require you to KYC and everything. They actively block you.
Yes, 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 yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
so that's what I was referring to. But yeah, I hope that we see some good timings. But let's see what happens.
You know what's interesting, guys, and like I really thought a lot of these projects that did all of these different airdrops did disservices to the community, right? Because people only came in to farm airdrops. Once they got their airdrops, they dumped the tokens and they moved on to something else. I felt like projects needed to create a different way to build organic excitement around a token, not just, hey, I'm going to farm this, I'm going to move on, and then I'm going to go farm this, right? And I think that really did hinder a lot of really amazing technologies that are being built. But at the same time, what do we have? 30, 40, 50,000 crypto tokens? How many of those actually have paying customers? How many of those actually have technologies that corporations and institutions are building on? I think we have a whole big mess of garbage, and I really think people are focused on the exact wrong things. Anyways, let me do this. Let me throw it over to Action. I love when Action kind of comes in with his passion and his love. So Action, what do you got for us, man, on this conversation?
Well, I'm an idiot. I love listening to crypto data because that's where I get my astronomy for men often. But like, I can't keep up with as much stuff as y'all keep up with. Like, I heads off to Lady Trader, the Oracle here, because I made money during that time too. But like, shoot, like I was not making nearly as much as she was. So I default to things that I know are gonna pump longish term. When I say long term in crypto, I'm talking like 6 months. I'm not talking about 5 years. There are things that I'm bullish on as far as 5 years and that sort of thing goes, but you guys are nailing it. You guys are dead on as far as like the way the market looks. The launch pads, everybody thought, oh my, I'm just gonna make a boatload of money. I'm gonna invest in launch pads now because it's gonna take off, and they are not getting the traffic that they had gotten in the past, so they're not gonna be as profitable as they were before. So I'm not like I have very very little invested in launch pads right now. Just not worthwhile endeavor for me. What I do focus on is mining. Like that's my go-to because my ADHD does not allow me to actually keep up with things on the day to day. Like I literally forget what trades I have open. I can't, like, I've gotten burned so many times simply because I forgot to close things out. And like I just know myself, right? Like that's the main thing. Like when you're in crypto, like yes, there's a million and one ways for you guys to make money. Just please know what kind of person you are if you're gonna forget to close out trades, like as I do. And that happens way too often. So like I just default to mining, finding nodes, and right now is like the perfect time. I'm literally spending let's say a lot of money investing in nodes because I know they're going to pay out really well in 2025. There are longer term plays, but my conviction in it is that this is the stuff that was going on when Gala Games was like launching their nodes, where it was like, oh, it's super cheap to get in, and all it says like, oh, it's 14,000 for you to buy one, and the prices kept going up. That's the narrative that I'm focusing on simply because it's what I know. And people talk about this in the stock market all the time, like trade what you know, trade what you know. And what I know in this market is mining. It's running nodes. It's that type of infrastructure play that I know I can rely on long term. And man, the coolest part of it all is that I don't have to try really hard because the amount of money that I end up making when nodes are at play is really high. Because if you think about an adoption curve, people that are running the hardware, people that are actually like getting down and dirty and making things work, they're at the very beginning of that adoption curve. Like you got to move on forward, because tokens aren't even launched when you first get into these node things. So when people start trading, well, it's already later down the line. So to me, like node running and figuring out what kind of plays you can get into before token launches, it's almost like being a VC investor at times, just because you literally are getting tokens at that price and you continue to earn long term. So like ROI wise, like I'm always looking for what can I ROI on as fast as possible so that I can move forward and just reap the rewards long term without having to, bat an eye at where my money is, where I have it parked, or what kind of weird trades I forgot to close at any given time. I mean, that's where I'm at right now.
Man, and there might be people in the audience that don't understand what nodes are, and if you're not familiar, this is kind of how I've been able to make a lot of wealth in the crypto industry. You can actually support blockchains early, get paid in that actual cryptocurrency, sell that cryptocurrency, and make passive income. Right? Some people do mining, some people support blockchain through nodes, and these are two extremely good ways to
I
really
totally
set
agree.
yourself up to set yourself up. We have Jerry Bond up here. I wanted to talk with him. He is actually in the Ton ecosystem, and I know Telegram's blockchain is already massive. And when you have a billion users using your platform, it's only a matter of time before you see this 10 or 20x from where it currently stands. I'd love to hear, your input or your thoughts about what's happening in the Ton ecosystem and how people can benefit or start making money inside of the Ton ecosystem. If you can drop some knowledge on us, I'd really appreciate it.
All right, yeah, GM to everybody. GM means good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are. Really, thanks so much for the privilege to be here and see everyone. GM to all the listeners and then the speakers, and I also see my friends joining. Thank you so much. The Ton ecosystem. I'll first of all say I've been in the space for like 4 years now, over 4 years, and I've seen quite a number of blockchains. I've seen the activities, the users, the community. But I'll tell you one thing for sure: that Ton has one thing that over any other blockchain, which is the community. Leveraging Telegram to actually use the over 950 million active monthly users of this app gives Ton leverage over every other blockchain. Because when we say crypto, we say community. Without community, there's no crypto. And I'll tell you one thing for sure, that at this point, Ton has a community, and it's super, super early. And one of the greatest magics or miracles on Ton right now is the mini app. Now they've created I would say the platform for projects to build mini apps, and these mini apps in turn gives you access to automatically all the 950 million monthly active users of this app. You understand? And so when we keep talking about mass adoption, we talk about the Telegram, because we have people from Web 2 using that app, we have people from Web 3, and then also you see education, which is key and very important. People are being educated with the mini apps that have been built there. We can see the gamifying sector is actually gaining traction on the Ton ecosystem, because people can actually use Telegram to play all these games or to use all the mini apps. Virtually, you don't need a third-party app in a Play Store or an Apple Store anymore. If you're in Web3, all you just need is a mini app that is built on Telegram. It can be on Ton, it can be on TapSwap, it can be on Ethereum, it can be on wherever, and you just have access to that community. That is what we're doing on the Ton ecosystem. And for me, actually, I've seen that this is something that is more of an advantage over every chain, and that's why you see me here. I actually love the technology, because for me, actually, I'm from Africa. And when we talk about education, we talk about mass onboarding. You find out that people are looking for the most simplest ways actually to enter Web3. And you can look at the model of the Notcoin. The Notcoin was launched. And when Notcoin was launched, it had over 35 million users automatically. And after Notcoin, TapSwap came from Solana, and they built, before moving to Ton, they presently have like over 70,000 users. Hamster Combat has now over 200 million users, and this is thanks to the collaboration with Telegram, because that is where the community is. That is where we are living right now. And you find out that people are being onboarded simply every single day. And when you talk about Web3, the common man will tell you what is Web3. And you try to explain and all that. But Telegram and Ton, the slogan is putting Web3 in every pocket. That is what is happening right now. You can see thousands or hundreds of mini apps being built every single day. They could be games, they could be social fi, they could be anything in a Web3 ecosystem. And this is making life easy for everybody actually to enter into Web3. And this is what we're talking about here. Getting more people into this thing so that we have more adoption, so that the world government will really see that people are using this thing to really solve issues, solve problems, and all that. And I also employ everybody on this space. If you're a builder, you're not a builder, you're a founder, try to build a mini app on Telegram. It could be your business, like Crypto Sensei right now. Say, come on, man, you need to build a mini app on Telegram so that all your community will really have access to it. You can disperse information to them. You can do quite a number of things. If you have a store, you have a mall, you can actually build a mini app. And then from your region, people can really maximize the opportunity. For example, if you're in the US, around your community, if you're in Chicago or you're in wherever in the US, Washington, D.C., wherever, you can actually build a mini app that work for people around that community. What is that one thing there's a problem? All you need is a Telegram. You don't need to have
Yeah.
multiple on your phone. Yes, bro.
Sensei,
Let me ask.
are you hearing
Yeah.
what I'm hearing? It sounds like there's a ton of benefits to this.
Bro, my next question is going to be, what is the next not coin? What is the next hamster warrior? Like, what can people be looking at today that has the ability to grow on that kind of level? Has there something that has maybe not launched yet that
All right.
users here could get that information and really start trying to, because that's what we're all here. We're all here
All right.
because we believe in this ecosystem. We're all here because we can believe that we can
Exactly.
change our lives. And so I know that you spend all of your time, greeting and talking and growing into this Ton ecosystem. So what is the alpha that you can give us? Where should we be looking?
All right, the alpha right now, I'll tell you one thing for a fact. I can't really just tell you this is the alpha because we have hundreds of them coming up every single day. First of all, let me say something before I drop most of the most common alphas that is actually trending right now. One thing for sure is most of these projects right now are replicating the model of Notcoin because Notcoin actually got the community. Actually, any project building getting community. So Notcon actually showed every project the way. So you see a lot of projects coming with tapping narrative and all that, and then you hear questions like people saying, "What is the next? What is the next Notcoin, or probably what's gonna pay next, or why is there so much tapping narrative?" And the answer is, let me tell you this: most of these people are building something much more than this tapping games that you're seeing. They are building different Web3 applications. For example, Hamster Combat is building um, an e-commerce platform. That is what Hamster Combat is building. Right now, we have Olympic, which is coming with some kind of games like football, basketball, and all that on the platform. We have eFootball, which is now a football manager where you can manage games and do that, and a lot of others. So there are lots of them actually right now on the space. But the alpha right now is Docs. Docs has
Yep.
been the alpha right now. Yeah, Docs is the biggest alpha, and there's a launch pool that I think is over how many $1 billion right now? $13 billion right now on Binance. That's one of like the biggest launch pools. I don't know. I don't have the data, but that's like one of the biggest launch pools on Binance right now. And it was just a project that will just tell you about how old you've been on Telegram, and then I reward you certain tokens, and then you complete certain tasks and all that. And right now, there's a promise of reward for the community. We don't know how big, how small, how large it's going to be, but we know Docs is going to cook. I think TG is supposed to be today, but listing is going to be on the 26th. So we are hoping to see what's going to happen. We have TapSwap, which has been there for a while. And then we have the Hamster Combat. We have the Obitongs, OBOOR, and then BIT, then TONZ. Yeah, Obitons. It's actually building on Solana though, but it's actually on Telegram as a mini app as well. There are lots of them. I think I'll make a list before the next phase.
I love
Maybe
that.
within the week I'll tag Sensei, so that we can share this to the
I'm
community. But
Yep.
overall, what we're doing is just building this shit and make sure we get more people, not just into Ton, but make sure that people adopt this thing. But at the point right now, Ton is doing the most to adopt people from Web 2 into Web 3, maybe probably from Web 1 as
Man,
well.
I'm
Thank you very
so
much.
thankful to have you, man. That was such incredible information in Alpha. I wanted to turn it back over to Crypto Data. What are you looking at right now? I mean, what is the most important thing or the most important projects that you are looking to pick up currently, before all of this really starts taking off? Because, I know how much hard work you put in. I see it every single day. What do you have to share with us that can really help people in this audience make generational wealth, because that's what we're all here to do. We're all here to try to be early. Is there anything that you have on the top of your mind that you'd like to share?
Yeah, so I think I want to kind of bounce off what Adrian was saying earlier about AI coins. I think there's still a huge opportunity with those. We're already seeing a few that I've seen do very well. A spec on the base chain that's been doing very well, SPEC. And then I know, Tau and Render have had nice bounces as well. So I think that getting positioned in AI coins, like Lady Trader was saying, is a smart move. I think getting ready for that, and we'll probably see another AI resurgence, October, November going into those. And I know Nvidia earnings is going to be soon as well. So again, there's a lot of catalysts. We have GPT-5 eventually when that releases. That's going to be a huge catalyst with AI agents. So I think AI is a big sector you need to be exposed to, and then even RWA. A lot of people were saying we were early to RWA, just the sector wasn't ready. I think 2025 will really start to see that ramp up. Lady Trader again mentioned Trump's new thing, the Defiant ones, which is basically a tokenized real estate and tokenizing stuff on the block, digital real estate more so. So I think tokenizing things on the blockchain is going to be more and more common, and we're going to start to see more projects start to capitalize on that. And then obviously BlackRock is going to keep mentioning or Larry Fink more so, is going to keep mentioning tokenization of assets, and that's going to pump RWA coins, and it's just going to be a cycle. So I think AI and RWA coins are going to be good. And then, so Tau render spec for AI, and then RWA. I mean, Ondo is usually the staple, but I'm looking for a few others. I need to do more research on a few other RWA coins, but yeah, just look for exposure to those. And then I would say, even right now, I mean, we're seeing a lot of hype with the Tron blockchain and the BNB chain. And so I know that there's a meme coin called Four on the BNB chain that's been pumping like crazy ahead of the CZ, release at the end of September. So keeping an eye on that. I know Simon's cat on the BNB chain has been going crazy because it's basically backed by, I want to say, Floki. And then, of course, it's backed by the BNB chain account. They've been tweeting about it. So, yeah. And then the Sun token, obviously, on the Tron
Yep.
network.
Yep.
That's,
No, I was going to say you're absolutely right. Like I think over the last week or two, we've seen an explosion on the Tron ecosystem with certain meme coins, and people are moving money. I think from Solana to Tron. I think people are sick and tired of being rugged on Solana. When you have Pump Fund, 160,000 tokens created in a day and only 12 making it to Radium, that is done, man. Like retail has lost billions and billions of dollars, and it's all gone to a few select scammers. And I think people are sick of it. I think people are looking for an actual community of amazing devs and organic growth that are really trying to reshape the way crypto is looked at right now. Because right now, I think it's been in such a horrible space. I have a community too, and a lot of the community does talk about different meme coins. And they talk about them one day, and the next day completely rugged. And I think if you focus on maybe the Tron ecosystem, like you're saying, if you're focusing on the Ton ecosystem, I think this is really where you're going to find real organic builders that are going to take it to the next level. So, man, I
Exactly.
really appreciate you dropping that. Was there anybody else on the panel that had thoughts about what we should be looking at? Because we have 52 people in the audience. I love the growth, man. We've done this 3 weeks. The original week we had 12 people, then we had about 26. Now we're in the 50s. I can't thank every single one
Bro.
of you enough. We are growing this space, and it's all because of you. And I really appreciate you all from the bottom of my heart. I really want to help people grow. I want to help people learn, and it's just I can't thank the speakers and the audience enough. Why don't we do this? Why don't we throw it up to get some final thoughts here? I know everyone has an extremely busy day. Action, did you want to have anything that you wanted to say here in closing, and I'll kind of just go through the rest of the panel?
I'll tell you guys, I'm beyond bearish for September. But after that, I think we're gonna be all right. So don't be disheartened in the next month when you guys start seeing like, why is everything red? I think that over the last few years, it's always been red. So I don't expect anything different. Things are not gonna look that great, but don't get disheartened. Like let this just be a word of encouragement. Like, yes, things are gonna look bad. If you want to short things, go for it. Have some fun with it. If you're Data or anybody else crazy enough to actually keep track of their trades, I don't even know what I have open right now. But if that's you, go for it. But just remember that that will pass. That will definitely pass. A month is only 30 days, and we're going to be on to some much bigger and better things. We're going to see the printers going burr once again, getting that quantitative easing, and rolling in, getting Papa Pow to give us a little bit more money and get that injected. Not like we saw last cycle, but it's going to definitely make a dent. And one word as far as where the adoption's coming in, I know everybody's talking about, it's institutions, nation states. Watch out for nation states. I am personally working with a big one in oil that is definitely doing a lot in mining. So they're coming, guys. They're definitely coming.
I love that, man. Thank you so much. Nix, I want to throw it to you, love. You got anything to say that you would like to add?
Yeah, I would. I agree with most everything everybody's been saying. I even like, bits of pieces of it kind of created this full picture in my mind. But I would say, like, yes, it is a little disheartening, I think, right now. I think a lot of us are really curious about what this next year is going to look like. To me, I just think of it as like a normal process of the hype cycle. I think this next, coming year, like, we're going to see a lot of more mature decisions, I think, being made, less speculative decisions, more people, looking at things is from a fundamental point of view as much as they can, 360 point of view, looking at, digging really deep into the backgrounds of projects and teams. And I would say also, I think we're going to see like a really big push of people figuring out how to play our ecosystem a little bit better too. Like, one, for instance, is sorry, Sensei. Like, I can hear you in the background, Mike. Hopefully everything's okay
Oh, I'm
back
so
there.
sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm just like wanting, like, hope you're okay. Yeah, no, I feel like we're gonna see, like, that we've sort of learned in this space that, like, a lot of us are here for different reasons, and I would really love to see projects. If I had advice for any projects, learn how to capitalize your first launch strategy, and make sure your revenue models are solid after that, because we have seen so many times, like, projects, you don't get the same community involvement that you think that you're going to as you're raising and you're funding. But if you have a really solid model, solid team, good core team, a decent loyal community, like, you can get super far in this space. And I would just really love to see. I've seen some projects do that very successfully. I would just like to see us do that more habitually, and just really learn, like, how to capitalize on this really, like, awesome and unique ecosystem that we've all built here. But yeah, that's just me. Thanks again for having me here, Sensei. I always love being on your spaces.
Nix, I do apologize. I had Luna crying, and I was trying to dig for a treat for her. I didn't realize I wasn't on mute, so I do apologize from the
No,
bottom of my heart.
you
Sorry,
have to.
sorry.
You're so good. I was just like, oh, are you okay?
Oh man, I love you. All right, Crypto Data, do you want to take us out with any information that you feel is important? Before you do, guys, Crypto Data, he has an incredible Telegram channel. Please click on his account, join his Telegram channel. He has incredible alpha that he shares every single day on his channel. And I've been in it for about a month, and I gotta tell you, he has the pulse on the crypto market. So please go follow him. Show him some love and support. He deserves it. He works extremely hard. I'll throw it over to you, Crypto Data, for your final thoughts.
Yeah, I appreciate the kind words, Sensei. Again, I had a great time here on the space. There's a lot of good people here, so definitely follow all of them. As far as closing remarks, I would just say, kind of echo what Action says, right? Don't get too diluted in the coins that you're holding. Make sure you still are able to track every one of the coins, because there's always different narratives and everything going off. So you don't want to get, too encumbered by having 20, 30 coins that you have to track. So that's one thing. And then two, always, keep an eye on the overall narratives, the macro picture. Don't get too zoomed in on lower time frames, because we do know the big picture of crypto. Over time it's bullish, but the more you can actually look forward and look at the upcoming catalysts, like interest rate cuts, CZ getting out of prison, the FTX refund in Q4, 12.7 billion, like, these are things that people look for to front run. So, like Action was saying, September may be a bearish month, because historically, if you go on CoinGlass, August, September have been choppy months. September has been one of the most bearish. So if you look at that and then you think, okay, they're cutting interest rates in September, mid-September, well, people are going to front run that, right? So it may pump until maybe the first week of September and then start dumping after that, ahead of those rate cuts, like Adrian was saying. So I think it's just, looking at things from a macro perspective, always, looking at the overall narratives and just trying to front run those, and then, get ready to take profits. Don't get too greedy, because during these pumps, it's easy to become, full on bull and think that we're going, all time highs are next. But always, zoom out, look at technical analysis on the weekly charts, the monthly charts, the higher time frames that all the big people are looking at, so you know when to take profits and you don't kind of get blinded by that FOMO, and you can still secure those profits, because that's the hardest thing to do when you see all of these coins pumping. So that's the biggest thing I can say.
Love that, man. Jerry Bond, it's up to you, my friend. What is your closing arguments, or anything that you would like to say in closing, my friend?
All right. Right now, I just want to tell everybody, don't mind what is happening in the market. It's a season, and it's all gonna pass. Make sure you don't the market right now. You're not so smarter than the market. You understand? So just leave the market. Don't try so hard. Just allow it. But probably we're gonna be out of this very very soon. And don't forget to jump on Ton. You're quite very early. There are a lot of viable projects, good projects building on Ton ecosystem. And trust me, you're super, super early on this ecosystem. Telegram is our leverage, mini app is our leverage, and that is what we have. And over that, we have the community. When you talk about the community, we got it. So make sure no matter where you are, Solana, Ethereum, BTC, wherever, make sure you have a foot on Ton so that when it's gonna happen, you not be like, oh gosh, and Jerry Bond told me this on this space. No, make sure you're there so that when it happens, we'll be like, yes, I thank God I actually took the advice. Yeah, this is not an advice I got from a madman. I got it from Pavel Durov, the founder of Telegram. So thanks so much, bro, for giving me the opportunity. It's a great one. I'll be happy to be here next Friday. Thank you.
It's a true honor, man. Thank you so much. Lady Trader, how are you? What do you got closing for us?
Hey, thank you. So, Jerry, big fan of Ton ecosystem and an investor, and also my community has heavily invested in Ton. You guys are our favorites. So, thank you for everything that you guys are doing and delivering the results that so early on in the bull market. Because frankly, none of us were expecting Ton to move like the way it did. We were just happy that we were in it. And just wanted to
And sorry, Data. I just wanted to say something. Sorry.
oh, go ahead.
And for anyone that is actually going for Token 2049 in Singapore, I'm going to be there. So let's meet up so that we have some real conversation, face to face. You understand? Talk about it for real. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, just wanted to say, everybody, I think good times are coming. 2025 is going to be the bull year for sure, according to historical data. Study historical data. Make sure that you have a clear exit plan as well at the end of it, because that's going to be important, right? You don't want to be caught in the middle of a bear market again. But yeah, just wanted to say thank you so much, Crypto Sensei, for hosting us. And it was a great spaces today. Thank you. Bye.
Appreciate that. And guys, I just wanted to thank you again. We're going to be doing this Friday as well. Also, on Monday, we're going to be hosting a meme coin space an hour later. If you're interested in learning more about meme coins, please show up to that. I'm so thankful to have all of you here. If you could tell a friend or family member about this space next Friday, we could get to over 100 people, and that would be truly incredible. My goal in life is to help educate people in crypto, and I'm so thankful to be surrounded by such an incredible cast. So please follow all of these speakers, do something incredible, and we'll see you next week. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Have the fantastic weekend, and aloha from Hawaii.